Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So finally the weight loss video is here. You guys have been asking and pushing me to tell them how I lost 36 kilos. So today I'm going to tell you the truth. I met Mike, I think 10 years ago, 7 years ago. Before I met him, I was just a normal 22-year-old girl. I used to weigh 60, 61 kilos. Then when I met him, I started dating and it got serious. And I thought to myself, I really don't want to get pregnant right now. He needs to sort out his issues. He needs to sort out, we need to come up with a plan on how we are going to go forward. Are we going to get married, move in, and have a life together? So I really didn't want to get pregnant without planning. So I decided, instead of taking pills or injection, I decided to get an implant. And I don't know if you ladies know, the implant is when you put like 2 small rods on your arm. So you put these 2 rods on your arm. So what the implant does, it releases progesterone and prevents you from releasing an egg every month, so that you don't have, you're not able to get pregnant. So I went to see a gyna, legit. I went to a hospital, so a gynecologist, and got my implant. 6 months down the line, I noticed like I added a lot of weight. Now I'm not really sure if the implant led to the weight, but I added like 12 kilos. I moved from being 61 to 73. And then at that time, I was going through a lot of stress with getting to meet the kids, forming a new family. So I found myself also overeating when I'm stressed, because I'm those people, when I'm stressed, I eat a lot. And slowly by slowly, the 73 moved to 75, to 80, 85. And I remember one day I woke up and I was 94 kilos. So I joined a team. And I remember if people were watching Akina Cynthia, I had a trainer called Agri, we used to meet at Jaffrey's, and I had a nutritionist called Sherry. So I really worked hard for like 7 months, because I really also wanted to get a baby. So I worked hard. I moved from 94 kilos to, was it 83? And I was able to get pregnant, get my baby. But after my baby, I went back to being 96 kilos. It was even worse, from 94 to 96. So I gained the weight back again. And I got shown in 2012. So in 2014, I was diagnosed with a hiatal hernia. And I'll read for you what a hernia is. It's when part of your stomach protrudes through the diaphragm into your chest cavity. And the diaphragm is a sheet of muscle that helps you breathe by contracting and drawing into the lungs. So when the hernia happens, before the doctors figured out hernia, I used to cough a lot. I couldn't sleep down because I'd choke at night, so I had to sleep sitting up. I went to hospital many times before the doctors figured out what it was. They would give me inhalers, they gave me asthma drugs. Eventually I went to Dr. Muhindi. So Dr. Muhindi recommended for me to go see a GI doctor. So he did a gastroscopy, where he put an equipment down my throat to see what is happening there. And that is when I was diagnosed with a hiatal hernia. So when me and my husband went to see a specialist, and the doctor who was going to do my surgery to fix my hernia because it was very big, I remember I used to eat and all my food would come up. At night, I would sit sleeping straight like this. I couldn't sit down because, you see, the food would come and I'd choke. So it was very uncomfortable. I used to cough a lot. It was such a terrible time. So when we went to see the doctor at Nairobi Hospital, we did our research and decided to go do the surgery in India. So we planned everything and we went to India. But when I was listening to the doctor talking about all this, I asked them, what do you think causes hernias? And they said some of the causes of hernia is when you get really fat. And I thought to myself, you know what, I need to fix this. And all along, I was like, I've worked so hard, I lost 10 kilos, now I'm back to being 96. I need to find a permanent solution for this thing. So we decided to go to India to do the surgery. And when I was on my way to India, I had this idea, although my husband didn't know. I wanted to go and seek a permanent weight loss solution. And so I'd been researching on bariatric surgery. And for those who don't know what bariatric surgery is, it's surgery that helps patients who are overweight or obese to lose weight. So I had really set my mind on a gastric sleeve. A gastric sleeve is where the doctor reduces 85% of your stomach, and now the stomach, the 50% that remains resembles a sleeve. And what happens when you do a gastric sleeve is that you cannot overeat anymore, and so you eat small amounts of food many times. So when I went to India, we found a very good bariatric surgeon from the UK. He just come back, and I told him why I wanted to do the surgery, and he was like, because the gastric sleeve is not very famous. By that time, it was only like 5 years old in the bariatric surgery market. So he advised me to do a mini gastric bypass. So they would do these two surgeries together. He'll fix the hernia, and then he'll also do the mini gastric bypass. So I'll just give you a brief description of what a mini gastric bypass is, and then you will go and research on your own. Yeah, a mini gastric bypass is a restrictive and a malabsorptive procedure. Restrictive meaning that they reduce the size of your stomach, so you'll eat less, and the malabsorption part comes in when you don't absorb everything you eat, because your food will bypass like 6 inches of intestines. So I decided to go with the mini gastric bypass. It is shorter. It takes a shorter time than a full gastric bypass. And I know many of you will ask me what's the difference between a mini gastric bypass and a full gastric bypass. A mini gastric bypass is shorter, takes a shorter time. It's 50 minutes. It is technically easier. There is less rerouting of the intestines, but the results are actually quite the same. So I did a mini gastric bypass. It was successful. So I fixed the hernia as I did the mini gastric bypass. Now, after you do the surgery, you will not eat for, I think, 14 days. You won't eat solid food. So I stayed in India for a while, I think for those 14 days. You only eat soups, liquids, jellies. And so by the time I came back home, because of not eating solid food for those 2 weeks, I had lost, I think, 9 kilos. So that really gave me the psyche to continue with the journey. It was very hard for me not to eat because I love my food. And that was the start of my weight loss journey. I know most of you will say, oh, it's a shortcut, and oh, it was an easier way out. Well, to each their own. For me, it was something I decided to do so that I could fast track my weight loss journey. But it's not a guarantee that you will maintain the weight. The success depends on, are you going to follow a strict regime in terms of watching your portions? Are you going to exercise to avoid loose skin? So I remember when I came back, I used to go to the gym morning and evening. I was so afraid of loose skin. Obviously, over time, I know most people will ask, will the stomach size increase? I can tell you, to be honest, it's been 4 years, going 5 years. So what I do is I watch what I eat. I watch my portions. Anyone around me, even my peer, will tell you, I eat everything and anything, but just in small amounts. And then also, I don't take soda. I'm not a fan of sweet things, because I realize for me, and I'll talk about this as we go along, because obviously the surgery has its the thing that you have to live with after you do the surgery. There's so many things. My body does not absorb sugar very well. If I take sugar, I'll have a running stomach. So there are things I avoid. I watch my portions, so I eat small meals many times. I go to the gym. I try my water, which I'm not very good at. And so I've been able to maintain weight 5 years later, and here I am, 36 kilos less. And my success is actually out of really being strict with my diet and exercising and watching what I eat. So that's the truth, guys. I think I hope you have answered your question on how I lost the weight. And I'll say to each their own. And I'm really proud to those guys who I see on social media and Instagram who've lost weight the hard way, and they've exercised, they've dieted, and are able to lose 30, 40 kilos. I'm proud of you. This was just the route I chose, and I hope you've learned something today. So until next time, guys, let me know what you'd like to know more about the surgery and the side effects and what I've had to live with after the surgery. But yeah, I'm more happier. I'm able to fit into my clothes, and I feel good about myself. So until next time, bye.